The Brooks Glycerin 21 had a few updates this year for 2024, but is it going to keep traditional Brooks fans happy? Let's break it down. Hello everybody, welcome back to Rad Dad Bod TV. I'm Eric McIntyre, aka Rad Dad Bod. Appreciate you being here. Today we are reviewing the Brooks Glycerin 21. Before I dive into the review of the shoe and any disclosures, if you're not already following, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that like button because I know you're going to like this one. And make sure to check back frequently because we've got lots of shoes that we're going to be reviewing over the coming weeks. Now let's talk disclosures. I was given this shoe for free through my association with my local running store, Utah Run. I, however, was not compensated for this review, and neither the store nor Brooks Running will see this review beforehand, and these thoughts are entirely my own. The Brooks Glycerin 21 is one of Brooks's max cushion daily trainers. It is 38 millimeters in the heel and 28 millimeters in the forefoot for a 10 millimeter heel to toe drop, making it a close to max drop shoe, at the very least a high drop shoe. This is consistent with other Brooks Glycerin models and is 2 millimeters lower than the Brooks Ghost. The Brooks Glycerin 21 has a DNA Loft V3 midsole, which is a nitrogen-infused or injected midsole. DNA Loft V3 is supposed to be the softest of Brooks's daily training foams, especially when compared to the Ghost, which utilizes DNA Loft V2. The outsole features Brooks's famous Road Tack rubber, which is going to be very, very durable, very, very sticky. And the upper is going to be a wrap knit upper with some different synthetic overlays for the Brooks logo there in the midfoot, as well as there in the heel counter. Now, as far as overall fit, this is going to fit like most Brooks running shoes. It's going to fit a little bit more narrow than some other brands. However, compared to other Brooks running shoes, I did find that the Brooks Glycerin 21 seems to fit a little bit wider in the toe box, which is very welcome. But I would say it probably fits standard to narrow in the midfoot and the heel. Now that we've gone through the specs, let's talk about the good. First things first, the Brooks Glycerin is a very comfortable shoe. As is common with a lot of max cushion shoes, the cushion doesn't just come underfoot, but is also integrated into the upper itself. So there's some really, really nice cushioning along the heel counter here, along the ankle. The upper is very plush and soft, and you've got kind of a mid to kind of max cushion tongue here as well, which keeps your foot very, very comfy along the ride. One thing that you can count on with Brooks is the overall construction of their shoes is just so good. They really, really care about their product, and you can tell that they place a high value on quality control. And so this shoe is very well constructed, and because of that, you have to believe that it's going to be very, very durable and last longer than most modern running shoes. Along with the overall comfort, the lockdown in this upper is really, really nice. The laces cinch down well in the midfoot, and that heel counter is very, very strong and keeps your heel locked in place. And so if you're someone who worries about sliding around in your shoes, you're not going to have the problem with these at all. When running, I found that this shoe was very, very stable, which is something I always pay attention to, even with non-motion control shoes. But what's really nice is you can actually get this shoe with the GTS guide rail system as well if you do feel like you need a little bit more guidance or stability in your shoe. The traction of the shoe, again, is just absolutely phenomenal. So I've run in wet conditions, Utah winter conditions, and I never had any worries about slipping around. The outsole there, very durable, very sticky, does the job great. Now let's talk about the bad. As with a lot of daily trainers, this shoe is pretty heavy. A men's size 9 comes in at 9.8 ounces, again, putting it on the overall heavier scale for a running shoe. And you could argue that with a max cushion running shoe, you don't really mind the weight as much, but seeing as many people are running in max cushion just as standard daily trainers nowadays, it would be nice if it did shed a little bit of weight somewhere. Both the weight as well as the midsole itself kind of just lull you into just really that easy kind of plodding pace, which is another thing where I would love to see a little bit more pace versatility even in a max cushion daily trainer. In fact, when you compare the Brooks Glycerin 21 to the Brooks Ghost Max, the slightly added density of that midsole allowed for that shoe to have a little bit more pop or responsiveness, where you're not really going to get that in the Brooks Glycerin 21. Now in the winter, all these different upper elements have been really, really nice in keeping my feet warm, but I would really worry about how warm my feet would be getting in the summer, as there's just a lot of cushion, a lot of plush, and overall I just don't feel like the shoe breathes a ton. And so that's something to think about. If you feel like your feet run hot, then you may want to wear some thinner socks or just consider a different Brooks model, because these are going to just hug your feet, which is great for comfort, but not so great for temperature control. Now, who's this shoe going to be good for? The obvious answer are Brooks loyalists, people who have loved Brooks for forever, and I think that's definitely true, but as someone who doesn't love running as much in high heel to toe drop shoes, I actually enjoyed quite a few daily miles in this shoe. If you're someone who's looking for a max cushion shoe that is a little bit maybe more supportive and less squishy, then I do think the Brooks Glycerin 21 is going to be for you. Other than that, people who are looking for like a daily workhorse shoe may find that they absolutely love the Brooks Glycerin 21. Like I said, I think the durability on these is going to be really, really good. And the construction of the shoe is next level. And so if you're tired of getting maybe only 200 miles out of a different brand of shoes, then Brooks may be somewhere that you look in order to get a little bit more bang for your buck. A couple of comparisons that I would want to make to some other brands, models, some other daily trainers, just to give you guys some kind of context. When compared to the New Balance 1080 V13, the Fresh Foam X Foam is a lot softer and squishier than the DNA Loft V3 foam, but that's not always a good thing. This will largely come down to preference, but for me, it's starting to feel like this may be a little bit too soft for some runs, and so if you're looking for a little bit more structure, again, a little bit more support where your feet aren't working so hard, then the Brooks Glycerin 21 may be the move. Well, I don't have it up here right now because it's drying in the garage. When compared to the Saucony Ride 17, which just came out this year as well, the Brooks Glycerin 21, again, is going to have a much more supportive overall foam. So as far as max cushion daily trainers go, I feel like the Brooks Glycerin 21 still maintains that soft midsole while giving you a lot of support instead of just a ton of squish and lack of structure underfoot. So there you go. That's my summary of the Brooks Glycerin 21. As always, I appreciate you sticking around to the end of the video. If you haven't already, please hit that like and subscribe button and come back because we're going to be reviewing a lot of shoes over the next few months. And just to close out, I'll leave you guys with a question, which is, in 2024, what is the Brooks model that you are most excited to see and why? We'll see you later.